If there's one friendship that seems unlikely, at least on the surface, it's between Patrick Cloutier and Jason Hernandez. Without question, the dynamic duo has not only made their lives better because of this friendship, they've also improved the lives of thousands in McKinney. But before they met, long before they met, the two men were on completely different life paths, and the two of them ever meeting seemed unlikely. You see, Patrick grew up as an army brat, with a father in the infantry. He's lived in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, the United Kingdom, and several cities in Texas before he was able to plant roots. He ended up graduating from University of North Texas in the 1980s, before finally settling in McKinney with his wife and kids in 1996. 2 years later, he opened up Legacy Planning Group in historic downtown McKinney. Jason, on the other hand, was born in McKinney and has lived in the city for most of his life. Growing up, he was close to his family. Unfortunately, growing up in the neighborhood he did, he was exposed to a disproportionate amount of crime, and even though he never joined a gang, he started selling drugs at the age of 15. About 6 years later, in 1998, that lifestyle caught up with him, and he was arrested and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 320 years. Things weren't looking good, and took a turn for the worse when Jason got news that his older brother, JJ, was murdered in prison. That was a turning point in his life. That's when Jason decided he'd live the rest of his life serving his brother's memory. After years of working through the criminal appeals process, to no avail, Jason decided to apply for clemency. And on December 19, 2013, President Barack Obama granted Jason clemency. While Jason was working hard on his clemency, Patrick was going through Leadership McKinney, a move that would put him and Jason on a collision course in less than 3 years' time. With business being good and the girls well on their way to adulthood, Patrick decided it was time to get more involved in the community. So beginning in 2013, he started serving on the board like Volunteer McKinney, the MEDC, the Planning and Zoning Board, and since graduating, the Leadership McKinney Selection Committee. Jason was released in 2016 and moved back to McKinney to begin working in and around the community. It was around this time that he also applied for Leadership McKinney, and it was during the application process when he met Patrick. Shortly after they met, their friendship blossomed. Since then, they've teamed up several times for the betterment of McKinney. From the annual Christmas in McKinney event for kids whose parents are either incarcerated, deployed, or deported, to life-changing fundraisers for members of the community, their partnership has touched the lives of many people. Not only that, but their story, their unlikely friendship, gives hope to the fact that while it may be true we all have differences, as a human race, we actually have a lot more in common. And that, as Jason and Patrick have found, is worth fighting for.